Hey, and welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. I'm glad you could stop by. In this episode of Soloing Concepts, we're going to be focusing on a technique that my students and I've seen in forums online where I'm involved, people asking about their alternate picking technique, how to improve it, how to fix it. So that's what we're going to focus on today. You'll also be working with a metronome to improve your timekeeping skills as well. So let's just get to it. But wait, press that red button down there in the corner and you'll be subscribed to Outsmart Your Guitar. Ring the notification bell and you'll be informed when new material is posted, which is usually around once a week or so. Down in the description, you'll see a link to patreon.com Outsmart Your Guitar. Press that link, go over and become a patron and support my efforts to continue providing you with high quality lesson material. In so doing, you'll be unlocking expanded versions of some of the lessons that are here, as well as access to lessons that are not included here and other material as well. All of it is designed to help you learn, play, and grow to be the guitar player you desire to be, to play the music you love. Sound good? All right, let's get to it. The first thing we need to talk about is how your arm and your hand in particular address the strings. There is a consistent way that you can do this. And so I'm going to walk you through what I do and what I teach, how you do this. All right, now you've got the lower bout, upper lower bout of the guitar. Now, it doesn't matter the size of the guitar, the shape of the guitar, or anything like that, because it's how your hand addresses the strings that matter, regardless of the instrument. This is the one thing that's going to be consistent in using this technique. Come in at about a 45-degree angle so that the bone that's right here is just off the 6th string bridge, like here, like that, right? So you should be looking something like this, all right? Now, if your hand is like this, you are too far down on the side, the butt of the guitar. You don't want to be on the butt. You want to be right up on here and come in at a 45-ish degree angle. That's more or less, right? And then that bone is just off the 6th string saddle. Now, you want this fleshy part of the side of your palm to run down right on top of the bridge saddles, like that. And you want that bone just off the 6th string, right? So you should be like this. Then lay your hand down. Now, lean in here and do this. That is your pivot point for not just strumming, but picking individual strings. You strum and you pick individual strings. You're just doing it in one place, and as you move across the strings, you move your arm, not your wrist. Like this. Now, you'll notice on this particular guitar, I have 3 pickups, so I'm on the neck side of the middle pickup, and then when I do a strum stroke, now I'm on the bridge side of the middle pickup. On a 2 pickup guitar, I'm just off the neck pickup. When I strum like this, I'll be just off the lead, the neck bridge pickup. So that gives you 2 pickup people kind of a sense of where your hand should be. And you'll notice we're in a very narrow section of the strings all the way across from 6 to 1. And so the tones will remain essentially consistent with regard to distance to the bridge. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause the video and get comfortable with this. And just do this and then alternately do this and just get the sense of it, that your pivot point is fixed and you work from that pivot point as you come back and forth across the strings, whether single note picking or strumming. Okay? Then when you've got that together, go ahead and restart the video and we'll keep going. What I want to talk about now is the pick. So I'm holding the pick the way I normally hold it. You'll see that above my thumb, the pick is sticking out. Below my thumb, let's get over the white, you can see there's very little pick sticking out. And since I just used a finger and a thumb, no two fingers, the pick is barely peeking out below my finger. This allows that my pick won't go deep into the strings. It won't go way down like this to where the pick guard is, right? This ensures that it stays relatively shallow in digging into the strings, which is really beneficial when I want to play fast. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that I'm not playing with my pick flat against the string like this. That actually impedes my ability to play very fast because the pick and the string they're resisting each other. They're actually fighting each other. So what you want to do is you want to angle the pick. So let me show you. You want to angle the pick like this. And here's the reason. The leading edge of the pick will glide over the string. The trailing edge of the pick will do the same thing in reverse. It will glide across the string. Less resistance because it's gliding across the string. So when I play using that technique, as you just saw a moment ago, I can play very fast. Now, if you're a fan of Troy Grady, he actually talks about not just angling the pick, but also angling your hand. So the pick is actually moving into the guitar and then away from the guitar. Let's see if I can do this here. In and away. Now you'll notice when I'm in, I'm below the plane of the strings. When I'm out, picking up, I'm above the plane of the strings. This allows me to move to the next string with relative ease without worrying about clambering into another string, both in moving across from low to high and from coming back high to low. Because I'm above the plane of the strings, I can move and then I'm ready to play the next string, either going across this way or coming back. And that angle thing doesn't impede my ability to play fast. All right? So here's what I want you to do. Pause the video and get your hand oriented as you know it's supposed to be. Angle the pick. Now you just angle it by bending your thumb like that. And that's it. So instead of being like this, where you're flat against the string, angle it like that. The thumb angle is the angle the pick is at against the string. And now you'll glide across the leading and trailing edge of the pick, and it will allow you to play very fast. Okay? So practice that for a few minutes. Get comfortable with it. Then just kind of work your way across the strings as well. Remember your pivot point, right? Back and forth. And then angle. So you're playing into and out of the strings. Into on the downstroke, out of on the upstroke. All right? Then, after you've done this for a few minutes and gotten the idea, because it will take a little time to get comfortable, restart the video and we'll keep going. Get your metronome at the ready. Set it at 40 beats a minute. Yes, this is very slow, but there's a reason for it being very slow. You're going to start out playing very few notes, and then you're going to be adding notes in how many notes you play per beat. And so we want to make sure that first you understand the picking technique. Second, that you're going to be crowding notes into the same beat. And third, when you play slow, one of the benefits is it requires you to be precise in your note placement. This is critical to helping you keep good time. All right? So the first four measures you'll see in the diagram are quarter notes. 4 quarter notes equals a whole, right? And since we're in 4/4, that's what that little C means. That's called common time. It's just another way of writing 4/4. You'll notice there are 4 quarter notes, black dots with a single stem, as that's called, that vertical line. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that above them, if you're not familiar with this, that thing that looks like a staple is a downstroke. The thing that looks like a V is an upstroke. So you would count this 4 beats per measure, and those are 4 quarter notes, so each quarter note is 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, start your metronome. And before you actually play, you want to get yourself in sync with the metronome. Therefore, you want to simply mute the strings and try to play in time, like this. Playing right on top of the click. As it clicks, you want to play your string. Then you want to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? Then you start playing a single note. Doesn't matter where. I'm playing an A at the 7th fret on the 4th string. You can play anywhere. We can play a G here at the 5th fret on the 4th string. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? So that's the object here. And you want to do this for a couple minutes. Get yourself in sync with the metronome, getting your notes right at the same time, sounding at the exact same time as the click. That's the goal. You'll be a little wobbly at first, but as you do this, you will start to pinpoint and know and feel the beat and the timing. This is part of helping you improve your timekeeping skills. Do this for a couple of minutes, pause the video, and go at it. And then, once you're fairly comfortable with it, go ahead and restart, and we'll keep going. All right. You'll notice in the diagram, the next group of 4 measures has 1/8 notes in it. 8 notes per measure. 2/8 equals 1/4, just like in fractions. And so what we're doing is we're breaking the beat into 2 parts. You have the beat and then the and of the beat. So you would count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the beat will always be a downstroke. The and will always be an upstroke when you're playing 1/8 notes. All right? Start your metronome. And just as before, go ahead and just play with the muted string and get yourself in sync. Whoops. And then start counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then, when you're ready, start playing the note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. Pause the video. Start working on 1/8 notes, counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The beat is always a downstroke. The and is always an upstroke when you're playing simple 1/8 notes. Take your time here. Again, a couple of minutes. You may be a little wobbly. That's okay. Get yourself in sync and really do this. And again, count out loud. All right? After doing this for a couple of minutes, restart the video. What you're going to do now is you're going to play a measure of quarter notes, then a measure of eighth notes, a measure of quarter notes, a measure of eighth notes, and so on. That's the exercise, moving between quarters and eighths. So you can do the exercise as before playing the notes. I'm just going to jump right in and play straight away to show you what your exercise is. 1. Oops, let's turn up the guitar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and so forth. That's the exercise. Back and forth. Do this for 3 or so minutes. Get comfortable counting 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and out loud, not in your head. You want to hear yourself count, and you want to be right in sync with the metronome all the way through. That's the goal. All right? After doing this for 3 minutes or so, you can restart the video and we'll keep going. The next group of 4 measures is triplets or triplet eighths. They are designated by 3/8 notes with a beam connecting all 3 of them, and above that is the number 3, showing that you're in groups of 3 notes, and each of those 3 notes, or each group of 3 notes, is 1 beat. How you count a triplet is by going 1 and up. Now, the interesting thing, because it's an odd number of notes when you're playing multiple triplets in a row, is you start with a downstroke on 1 and Now you end on a downstroke, so the second beat begins on an upstroke, 2 and Then the third beat starts on a downstroke, 3 and and the fourth beat starts on an upstroke, 4 and which gets you back to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So 1 is a down, 2 is an up, 3 is a down, 4 is an up. Just like in the quarter notes, you're just adding those extra notes, right? 3 notes per beat. So start your metronome and start to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Then when you're ready to play, begin playing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's a little tricky, but it's all strict alternate picking. All right? So pause the video, practice this. You can do it without playing the notes, and then move right into playing the notes. Do this for 2 minutes or more, not 30 seconds. Don't do any of this for 30 seconds. Actually do a couple of minutes per exercise so that you are training yourself, not just in your alternate picking skill, but in your timekeeping skill, because they do go hand in hand. Then, when you're ready to move forward, press play. All right, here's the fun. And it's a little trickier this time because you're now going to do a measure of quarter notes, a measure of eighth notes, a measure of triplets, a measure of eighths, back to a measure of quarters, then eighths, then triplets, eighths, quarters, and so forth, round and round for around 3 to 5 minutes. Let me demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and And you just keep going round and round. 3 to 5 minutes on this. I'm not kidding. You really want to spend the time to dial this in because this matters. It's going to help you in the long run. Trust me on this. And so when you're done, 3 to 5 minutes, go ahead and restart the video and we'll keep going. 16th notes now. What that means is there's 16 notes per measure in 4 groups of 4 notes. You'll notice a double beam over those grouping of 4 notes. That indicates, the double beam tells you they're 16th notes. And you count them: 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. So your beat stroke is now a downstroke again, all the way through. All right, so get your metronome going. And then start by clicking 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Then when you're ready, put in the notes. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Right? Do that for a couple of minutes. Pause the video, get yourself up to speed on that. It's not difficult, but this is where you will have a tendency to kind of rush, start playing too fast. So you really have to think of the mechanics and get, in a way, a little mechanical, to where you're getting that regulated and really controlling the speed to keep it under control so that you don't run away. This is one of the areas where a lot of guitar players come into a lot of trouble. When they're playing more notes per beat, they tend to start running away and not paying attention. So don't become that guy. All right? So after pausing the video and doing this for a couple of minutes, restart the video. Okay, let's have some more fun. A measure of quarters, a measure of eighths, a measure of triplets, a measure of sixteenths, a measure of triplets, a measure of eighths, a measure of quarters, and then you just keep going. So let me just demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the idea. So you want to really be focused when you do this. Take 5 minutes or more. Pause the video. 5 minutes or more of moving between quarters, eighths, triplets, sixteenths, triplets, eighths, and quarters. You will find that as you do this, you will start to really feel it. And here's something else I want you to do. Close your eyes. Shut off your vision and let your hearing become more acute as a result. By removing one of your senses, you will help heighten another one, your hearing, so that you can hear the beat and get a better sense of your timing with each of the quarters, eighths, triplets, and sixteenths. All right? Then after doing this for 3 to 5 minutes, I'm not kidding here, 3 to 5 minutes minimum, go ahead and restart the video. All right. Now, I just want to summarize what we've gone over here. The first thing is improving or correcting or fixing your alternate picking technique. We did that by showing you how your hand should be addressing the strings, your picking hand. You do that, this will benefit you a lot because you're in the same position every time so that you learn one approach and you don't have different approaches, just the one. That's all you need, right? The second thing you did was you learned quarters, eighths, triplets, and sixteenths. These are the 4 note types that you're going to encounter the most when you are soloing. So learning to move between them is the other benefit, and you're working on your alternate picking technique in the process. The third thing that you learn and is very beneficial is timekeeping skills, working with a metronome and learning to count out loud so that you know where you are in the count. And you're learning to move between quarters and eighths and triplets and sixteenths and how you count them. So you get comfortable counting them and moving between the different ways of counting, right? Now, here is a further thing that you can do. Get 4 pieces of paper, 2 by 2 inches. On each of those pieces, write quarters, eighths, triplets, sixteenths. Put them into a bowl, stir it up, and pull them out one at a time. And in the order you pulled them, that's how you play them. So if you pulled sixteenths first, then quarters, then eighths, then triplets, that's how you play it. Sixteenths, quarters, eighths, and triplets. Sixteenths, quarters, eighths, and triplets. 3 minutes. Gather them up, throw them back in the bowl, mix it up, pull them out. And in the order you pulled them, play them. So let's say it was eighths, triplets, quarters, sixteenths. Eighths, triplets, quarters, sixteenths. 3 minutes playing it just like that. Throw it back in the bowl, pull it out, play it in the order you did it, whatever it happens to be. In this way, and play with a metronome, you will be improving your ability to move between any note type and any other note type. Mixing it up gives you that because that simulates, in a way, what you're going to encounter when you're actually playing solos. Make sure you use the metronome to do this to help you learn good timekeeping skills. And you'll find within a couple of weeks, you'll be a virtual master using the metronome and counting out loud. Make sure you do that as well. Learning to count and move between the different ways to count the different note types. All right? Those are the deeper things that this lesson brings. So that'll do for this episode. I want to thank you for allowing me to spend the time with you. I really appreciate it. I got more to offer, so check out the other lessons I have, and we'll see you there.